Liaison Office of NJC, want to distinguish our state from what you have in other states.
Governor Wike justified his administration's focus on the judiciary.
Apart from Lagos, and probably, maybe, in terms of volume of work, Lagos, I don't think even Abuja, apart from electoral matters, I think Rivers State is next to Lagos in terms of volume of work as regards Federal High Court matters.
The governor also said he would be present on Monday to officially hand over to his successor.
We're leaving on Monday, but we're leaving happily. I'm not on the way to say I will not hand over, so the EFCC will not come. No, I'm going to be there live and hand over to my successor, and then I'll enter my vehicle and go to my village and stay, because I know we have done very well for this state. Our team, we should go out, be happy.
Our correspondent reports that the 3-story building will have 8 courtrooms, 8 offices for judges, a 500-seat capacity hall, 2 meeting rooms, and 4 elevators. The Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Teramba Tosho, laid the foundation stone. Moving on. The chairman of Obiakwa Local Government Area, George Areolu, says his administration will continue to work in synergy with the legislature for the development of the area. Mr. Areolu said this during the commissioning of the Obiakwa Ultra-Modern Legislative Building at the Council Secretariat in Rumodumaya.
We took it as an oath to change the narrative of local government administration, not just in Obiakwa alone, but also in the state, and it will spread out to the federal government. Not quite long, we commissioned and put into use this ultra-modern administrative block that we have named after our political father, mentor, Chief Nyesom Wike, Governor of Rivers State. We discovered that most of our councillors have cars already. So we have made available a pool of funds, which will also be seen as your welfare package.
Mr. Areolu also spoke on other ongoing projects by his administration.
Aside of these areas we are commissioning today, work is ongoing in the construction of the 19 classroom block and offices at the proposed site of Government Secondary School, Woji. We've also embarked on the construction of 6 classroom blocks with the principal and staff offices at the proposed site of Community Secondary School, Rumomini. We are also constructing a link road at Rumolumini. The contractors are already on site and working. Also under construction within this period, the Ogniba Community Market.
The lawmaker representing Obiakwa Federal Constituency, Kingsley Chinda, who chaired the event, also spoke on this.
Let me start by saying that what we are here today is to celebrate democracy. And this arm of government is the unsung arm of government, that is the legislature. But yet, what I would call the most important arm in democracy. We have had this beautiful edifice for the executive arm for years, and they have been patching. But today, we have a chairman who has recognized the importance of this arm, the importance of strengthening democratic institutions for the legislative arm. And so, Mr. Chairman, we commend you, we encourage you. We are very happy with your performance. And so we say thank you.
Our correspondent reports that the Obiakwa Ultra-Modern Legislative Building was commissioned by former Senate President Senator John Mbata. The event was attended by traditional rulers, chiefs, and stakeholders. Away from that, the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria, SPDC, has unveiled 8 host community development trusts in Rivers State. The host communities include Emoha, Ekweye, Engeni, Ogbolgolo, Obata, Egi, Iburu, TNP3, Soku, LM Sangama, and TNP1. Speaking during the event, the Deputy Managing Director of the SPDC, Wessel Dahas, said the trusts were set up in line with the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021.
With funding of trust derived from operation, community disruptions and vandalism will inevitably lead to less cash and thereby fewer programs. We are appealing to communities to help ensure hitch-free operation. Also, communities which allow internal strife and chieftaincy struggles to negatively impact the setting up of or the operations of the trusts. The SPDC JV will remain faithful to its responsibilities to communities under the PIA. We believe strongly in the talent, capacity and culture of the Niger Delta and indeed the Nigerian people. Going forward, we continue that collaboration, working together to power progress in Nigeria.
The acting permanent secretary of the River State Ministry of Chieftaincy and Community Affairs, Blessing Olukwo, represented the commissioner at the event.
Let the people in the helm of affairs of this group never have it in mind to be an opportunity for them and for their personal interest. That they should bear in mind that they are representing their communities in order to bring development. You have to be transparent in your dealings with whatever thing you are doing concerning this business. You and the company, the IOC, the SPDC that are working together, work together peacefully, create an enabling environment for them to operate and to make interest and also to benefit the state.
The chairman of TNP3 Trust, Mike Nwukwe, responded on behalf of the board of trustees.
We're going to work with you to achieve the ZM. I'm aware that we are a trust, and in a trust, there's what we call fiduciary relationship. What it means is that confidential trust. I'm sure my fellow chairman understand the concept of fiduciary relationship. We are being asked as caretaker members, go and look after this thing. We expect more engagement from SPDC from time to time. We expect them to call us. We expect to work with you. The aim is to ensure that your operations go smooth in all the communities, and the communities will also benefit.
Our correspondent reports that the SPDC has now set up 22 host community development trusts, including in Bayelsa, Imo, and Delta states. A bill seeking to compensate victims of the NSAS protest has passed second reading in the Senate. The bill, titled A Bill for an Act to Amend the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA Act, was sponsored by Senator Basi Gesham. In his lead debate, he said the bill seeks to provide for the establishment of the NSAS Victims Compensation Fund. Senator Bassi said the findings of the judicial panels of inquiry and the Senate Joint Committee on NSAS revealed the killing of protesters and destruction of properties by hoodlums who hijacked the protest, destroying and looting valuable assets. The lawmaker said the victims have been left to suffer the pain inflicted by hoodlums during the NSAS protests. Elsewhere, the family of a 41-year-old father of 3 kids, Victor Ekeneduru, says he remains in captivity 3 months after he was kidnapped in Omok Ogba Egbema Endoni local government area of the state. His sister, Augusta Duru, tells our correspondent that Mr. Ekeneduru was kidnapped on February 19 on his way home. She said despite paying the ransom, he is yet to be freed by his captors.
Duru was kidnapped in Omo by February 19, 2023. After 2 days, somebody contacted us through phone with an unknown number, and they said they are the one holding Ekene captive. And we heard my brother's voice. We were asked to pay a ransom, 1.8, which we paid that day, with the hope that they are going to release him. Since that till now, he has not been released. My younger sister, Uju Duru, contacted the DPO at Omo police station. So since then, we've not heard anything. They've not called us. The chiefs, the youth, nobody have said anything about him being kidnapped.
Ms. Duru called on relevant authorities to help the family rescue her brother.
He has a filling station where he sells fuel, and he's also an independent marketer. I'm asking that the police let them search for him. We have not seen him. The king of Obaland, let them say something. Let them bring him out. Let them look for him. This is a boy that nobody in Omog that don't know him. Akara rider, the keke, market women, everybody.
The River State Police Command is yet to respond to this. The River State Police Command has confirmed the release of the remaining National Youth Service Corps members who were kidnapped along the Remuji axis of the East-West Road on their way to Port Harcourt from the NYSC camp in Ondo State. Spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringekoko, made this known to our correspondent, but didn't state how the corps members were released. Recall that a family member of one of those kidnapped had told our correspondent that 12 corps members were kidnapped during the attack last Tuesday, but 5 escaped. The man whose sister-in-law was among those kidnapped now says the remaining 7 corps members were freed on Sunday at Choba in Obiakpo local government area. He said ransom was paid before their release.
They were released on Sunday evening, then 9. I saw 7 persons that were released. Among them were 2 girls and 5 boys. According to all the parents that came there, I said they paid ransom. We actually paid. Horrible condition. They were like they robbed them in the mud. If you see their bodies, they were beaten by all these other soundfly mosquitoes in the bush. They went went to report themselves to the station where it happened, and they took their statement and to see whether they can get their belongings.
In another development, the Rivers State Coordinator of the National Youth Service Corps, George Mfongang, says it is against rules for NYSC members to wear different styles and color shades of the khaki uniform. Mr. Mfongang said this in an interview with our correspondent.
Your uniform has not changed. It's still the same uniform. What we ensure is that those on the plus size in the camp, they are given additional uniform. Make sure they're able to make up their uniform. And there's a way the uniform should be worn. You don't put your face cap on. You don't tie the khaki on your waist because there's penalty for that. You don't go and shape the uniform. The uniform is supposed to be worn the way uniforms are supposed to be. There's sanction. And all the corps members in the state, they are aware of it. So there's a circular to that effect. And the local government inspectors are expected to implement it to the letter. Once we know the number of people on the plus side, we are 20. Additional uniform is given to them. We have tailors to do the adjustment to make it neat and fitted for them.
Our correspondent caught up with some corps members in Port Harcourt who gave reasons for wearing different styles and color shades of the khaki uniform.
Place where you're feeding from, there's a place they write size, your size, what your shoe size, but now they don't do it again. It's when you now come to the camp, they'll just give you any size you want. Then you now have to look for your corps members to change it with. So it's not encouraged because by the time you walk around to change, you might not see the person that you exchange with. So that was the reason that relates to, getting another material and all this thing. Because when you look, maybe someone that is fat get the one that is very tiny. So the person will not have any other choice than to go to the market and get new.
Most of the khakis they give to people are not their sizes. So people tend to make another one for themselves. Or if it is their size, you want to have two pairs since it's just one pair they're giving you.
They sew some or go outside the market to get some. But the main aspect I've noticed is that the uniform are different qualities.
Still ahead, President Buhari yet to dissolve cabinet as FEC holds last meeting. Stay tuned. At the valedictory session of the FEC meeting, which was held in Abuja yesterday to mark the end of his administration, many had expected that the president would dissolve his cabinet at the valedictory session, but the president instead directed his minister to return to their offices and continue work. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed made this known at a briefing shortly after the session.
And we should all go back and return to our offices. So it is not true that the President Council has been dissolved. It's still very much alive. Thank you very much.
In the meantime, outgoing Minister of State for Labour and Employment Festus Keyamo says the office of Minister of State was an aberration and unconstitutional. Mr. Keyamo read this in his speech at the valedictory session of the FEC meeting. He said most of his colleagues had become redundant in the last 8 years, but many have not had the courage to speak up.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
President-elect Bola Tinubu and Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima will be conferred with national honors today. While the President-elect will receive the Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, the Vice President-elect will be conferred with the Grand Commander of Order of the Niger. During the ceremony, transition documents will be handed over to them. The ceremony will commence at 10 a.m. at the State House Conference Center.
And now, we're bringing you news from around the world.
The head of the Russian paramilitary group that said it was behind a cross-border raid into Russia from Ukraine has vowed more of such attacks. Denis Kapustin, who leads the Russian Volunteer Corps, made this known to newsmen. Russia said it had repelled the raid, killing more than 70 people. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu promised a harsh response to any future attacks. Ukraine has denied involvement in the raid. Rock and soul singer Tina Turner, who rose from humble beginnings and overcame notoriously abusive marriage to become one of the most popular female artists of all time, is dead. She died at the age of 83.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, you heard that the River State government has taken over another property over poor maintenance. Governor Wike has flagged off a new Federal High Court complex on the acquired land. Corps members who were kidnapped on the Emoa axis of the East-West Road last Tuesday have regained their freedom. A bill to compensate victims of NSAS protest has passed second reading at the Senate. President Buhari is yet to dissolve his cabinet as the FEC holds last meeting. On the foreign scene, Russian paramilitary group has revealed plans to continue a cross-border raid into Russia from Ukraine. And rock and soul singer Tina Turner has died at the age of 83. The news was edited by Choma Ezewafo. Cloudy weather is expected in Port Harcourt this morning. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. My name is Efemi Andrew. Good morning.